Welcome to my first Power Rangers toy review. There is a reason for this, and I'll explain. I was, when this figure first came out in 1993, I was really into the Zords because, I like Transformers, and these are transforming robots. And before I even knew what the show was, I kind of connected these, dinosaurs with the combination or combiners of Transformers, and I really liked them until I really knew what the show was about. But I still collected the the Zords, up until I think the third season, whichever one started with the cars. I stopped there, but then I was going through Walmart and seeing that they started re-releasing the original Power Ranger figures. I just saw the figures, these guys here, and I said to myself, because I've lost this figure many years ago, and I've always liked it just because it's a good looking figure. And I said to myself, if I just, you never think it would happen, if they ever re-release the original Megazord figure, I would get it in a heartbeat. One day later, no, I'm not kidding, one day later I see Bolt Matrix, aka Beta's review of this figure, and I was amazed. So I had to run around and get him. So here he is. So let's crack open the box and check it out. So here we have all the Dinozords in their dinosaur form, of course. I'm not going to spend too much time on each of them because if I spend a lot of time on each one, it would be a already really long video, even longer. So just start off with the woolly mammoth. Before I really start anything, this is not a full reissue of the original Megazord. They are scaled down and a little bit simplified. And I'm going to show the biggest differences in all the figures. But yeah, this is not the exact mold as the original ones. They are a little bit smaller, some more than others. So, like I said, let's go to the woolly mammoth, who the design remains relatively unchanged. The sticker here is a little more accurate. It's more of a scene as in the show, and not the kind of cartoony M that the first release had. The trunk here does not move, however, and the tusks here are not chrome. And I don't think they've come off either, which is good. I don't mind the lack of chrome on this figure, because I always, even though it looks nice in the parts, I always thought it kind of offset the rest of the figure on anything that had chrome on it. So yeah, it's zero articulation. The original did have trunk articulation, but that's gone now. The saber-toothed tiger. This one has one of the biggest changes that I was not really too thrilled about, and that these were originally wheels that would help it spin when it was in Dino Tank mode, but now this is molded to the leg itself just to look like a wheel. And same thing goes back here. These would be wheels too, but they're just metal plastic, and no chrome fangs. But other than that, that's one of the biggest changes that I really did not like. But it still rolls. I mean, that doesn't really roll, as I'll show later on, more slides, but it still moves pretty smoothly. And it has some good form articulation in the back legs and the front, and that's supposed to be his laser gun right there. To the Triceratops, which the first one was a little bit blockier, and this one's has a little bit more design to it. And another real big change that disappointed me is this just looks really lame. This used to have two little cannons on the side that could swivel up or down that were chrome, but they just molded it into that, and it looks pretty awful when you try to. I mean, that doesn't even look like a gun once if you have it pointed towards you. It's pretty lame, but oh well. And the horns aren't chrome anymore. Onto the Pteranodon, I guess. This one is more or less the same. Just, of course, a little bit smaller. The sticker here in the front is more accurate to the show, I believe, and I really do like this look better. More of a metallic look here than the fake metallic on the first one. Yeah, nothing to it. It can flap its wings and, fly. But even though this belonged to the Pink Ranger, I always thought it was odd that this was red. And last, but certainly not least, the leader, the red Tyrannosaur, which is the most impressive out of all the dinosaurs. And it also has one of the biggest changes, also. On the original one, his tail tip could fold over to, when you fold this up, it would fold over just for a little bit more, I don't know, posability. Not really, but whatever. And now has these nubs on his knees, which I'll explain a little bit later. But other than that, besides the size, it's very much the same. Nothing else changed. It has a serial number right there. The stickers here are accurate to the TV show as opposed to the lightning bolts that were on the first release. So yeah. So as a whole, these Dinozords are typical Sentai / Power Rangers mecha toys. They lack almost no They have almost no posability. They have very little play value. Their main purpose is just to combine into the Megazord. But actually, for how old these designs are, they still actually hold up pretty well. I mean, the designs are pretty neat, and the Tyrannosaur, they're very iconic for how old and kind of cheesy these designs are. They do hold up very, very well. The first part of the transformation into Megazord is actually into his Dino Tank mode, which is very unique. This is the only one I'm aware of. I'm sure there might be a couple that have a little intermediate modes, but this is the first real popular one that has a intermediate step into the full final form of the Megazord. Now to do that, I'm going to start with the Tyrannosaur and fold these in a little bit. Do not collapse them all the way in because that'll ruin the effect of the tank a little bit. You just need to kind of leave it like this so the pegs are still facing outward. And fold up his arms like that. Take the saber-toothed cat, fold down the arms, and might as well fold up his fangs too. And he'll fold in his gun and connect it to the left leg. Take the Triceratops, fold this over, and you're done, and connect it to the right leg. Take the Mastodon, detach the head, split this open, and attach it to the back here. Collapse like that, and fold these up. Now, one of the biggest changes they made were in the woolly mammoth was leaving these pieces hollow. What you can do is pop off the arms and switch them to the side so the hollow part's facing down, but then you get the hollow piece right here that's facing up, and not many other people really notice that, and that sticker was just coming off for some reason. I didn't apply that one, which is a double-edged sword. If one piece is going to be hollow, then the other isn't. So, but I don't really mind that look, that facing up. It's kind of too much of a hassle to just for that one little piece not to be showing, but it still looks pretty. It doesn't ruin the effect for me at all. And then take the Mastodon head here, plug it into the chest here. Okay. Then take the pterodactyl, detach these cannons, and attach the bird itself to the back like that. And then attach the cannons to the front of the Mastodon's arms. And there's the Megazord in Dino tank mode, which is, I'm not sure if you're supposed to leave the tail up or down, but for overall effect I think it looks better with the tail up. So there he is. It's not as bulky looking as the first one, which I think added to the figure a lot. The bulkiness really just gave it a feel of being a big monstrous tank, while this is a little bit slimmed down. It's not as bulky, but it's not bad looking at all. You still get the idea that this is going to be a mean weapon assault on wheels. It doesn't like, even though it doesn't have wheels on it, like I said earlier, it still isn't too hard to just kind of glide across the table, and you're not going to scuff anything up on the bottom here because it's all pretty smooth. So yeah, just based on the Dino tank mode, which is one of the very popular modes of this figure for its awesomeness, it's well worth it. So on to the final Megazord form. To transform into the final Megazord form, detach the cannons, the pterodactyl, and the mammoth head. There. Fold these shoulder pieces out like that, and then fold the hands around, fold down the arms, and then go ahead and just stand him up. There you got this. Open up the chest plate here, and it is a little bit tricky to get his head in there because you can't just flop it down in there like the first one. Just kind of have to tuck it underneath everything and then fold that back up. Take the pterodactyl, fold the head in, then the wings, and attach to the chest, and fold out the horns. And there you have it, the Dinozords in the Megazord mode. Oh, whoop. One more thing. Actually, you gotta take the cannons here and attach them to the back. There. Now, he does come with a couple accessories now. He comes with this rubbery plastic sword, which replaces the hard plastic chrome sword the original one had. You can hold it in either hand, and now you can use the Mastodon head as a shield. One of the funkiest looking shields I've ever seen, but whatever works. He does have, for a Sentai / Power Ranger figure, he does have a fair amount of articulation. He can move his legs back and forth here. He has some awkward knee articulation. His arms can go all the way around, and he has some elbow articulation there, and some hand if you really want to get technical. So for a, like I said, a Power Ranger figure, this is not that bad at all. There's certainly some very many worse Power Ranger figures that have worse articulation than this, that almost practically have none. So it's not a bad figure overall as far as playability. It is a little bit outdated on the look. It just, even though a kid this day may like this figure, they're going to like better ones more. I think this re-release is really for the nostalgia, for older people that really had this when it first came out and maybe have lost it or want a fresh figure. So I think this is really more aimed at the collectors, even though that this is a collector's item, in my opinion, I still think a kid will not be sad or disappointed if he got this. This has a lot of play value in it, especially for a Power Ranger figure. It's one of the better ones in my opinion, and many people would also agree with me that it's one of the best Power Ranger / Sentai figures that have come around. And I highly recommend them if you're really into the nostalgic Power Ranger figures, and maybe if you're a new one, this is the throwback to, if you're a new Power Ranger fan, this is a throwback to what started it all. So I definitely recommend them if you're interested in the series at all. Until next time, thank you for watching.